to a Linux command. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do here is Dr. Goders is I'm going to stop sharing. He's going to do a brief little overview on Slack as a communication tool. I know who here has used Slack before, by the way? Most of you have. Okay, he's going to give us a couple more tips and pointers on Slack. You want to come up here?
Yeah, I'm just trying to. Okay, so let's see here. The general here. This is the Slack for our lab, and so I think Slack's pretty intuitive. Okay, you're probably thinking, why are you up here telling me how to use a messaging app? I've used messaging apps my whole life. It can't be that hard, and yeah, it's obviously intuitive and pretty easy to use, but then still people kind of screw it up and use it poorly. You can be a good Slack user or an annoying Slack user. So I am not an expert, but you can share some other things. We can do this collaborative if you want to add, but I wanted to kind of share a few tips with you that I've learned through doing this. So first you'll see here, I have a bunch of different workspaces here. Okay, and when I make a new workspace, I try and make like a little picture here. You happen to be making your own one. So here's some of them from my classes. They're pretty boring pictures. Dr. Lundgren's much more creative than I am. So, okay, so there's white dots. You'll see I got like a white dot here, a red dot. Okay, what are these? So what's a white dot? There's a new message in some channel that you are subscribed to that you haven't read yet. Okay, what about a red dot?
Direct message.
Yeah, so someone has specifically mentioned you. Okay, so over here in here, if I send a message, I can specifically mention somebody. Okay, and then it will show up as a red dot for them. Okay, so there's also at channel. Okay, this is going to notify and make essentially a red dot for everybody in the channel. And it'll probably warn you first before you do that. But that's nice if you're trying to get everybody's attention about maybe an upcoming meeting or something that requires everybody's input. It's nice to use that. Okay, so let's see, I should have had a script to go by here. So there are channels here. You can you'll see I'm part of a bunch of channels here. You can go and on a channel, you can hit the drop down here and star the channel if you want. Maybe you're not part of that many channels, but I have a bunch of stuff starred that I just like filtered up higher to the top of projects that I'm more a part of. And you can even do that with direct messages with other users. You can star them so that basically what you'll find is it's kind of annoying when you message people. It'll always just kind of be your most recent messages, or I don't even know the algorithm it uses. Sometimes I feel like I just got a message from someone and their name's not in the list, and it annoys me. So people like Dr. Worthland here, I just have starred, so it basically always stays here, and I can easily send a quick message to that person. Okay, you can have connections with people from other labs. You'll see I have Dr. Lundgren there that shows up under connections. And then let's see what else I want to talk about. So sometimes, and we're bad at this often, but hide this a little bit. So when someone posts a message on your channel, especially a channel that has lots of people on it, try and get in the habit of not just typing your reply down here at the bottom. Okay, if you go here and you hit the reply to thread, okay, everybody's replies will get buried under there. Why would you want to do that?
Keeps the channel.
Keeps it organized, clean, and it doesn't keep notifying people that aren't part of that conversation. Okay, so you can just kind of keep a conversation going between a couple of you, and it's not out there messaging everybody else. Okay, but sometimes people put a new message here and then it's kind of hidden, you don't see it. Okay, And so you're like, oh, do I need to just go back and check all of these? That's what the threads is up here at the top. Okay, if I go here, then I'll basically see all the threads that I've been a part of recently. And the newest activity will be up at the top. So sometimes you'll see a white dot here and you'll be down here going, where are my new messages? I don't see them. You might have to go up to threads. And likewise, there's also one for direct messages. So all of your direct messages show up with people that basically see everything from today, everything from yesterday, and so on. Okay, so another thing is you can add in little emojis of your choice. Okay, so why would you care about emojis? Aside from that they look, you might have fun scrolling through and looking at the pictures. When you use an emoji like a thumbs up or something, it doesn't add a new notification to that person. And so maybe you say, hey, someone says, hey, we're meeting here today. And rather than everybody replying and saying, okay, thanks, and then that person gets 10 replies, the emojis won't trigger a notification. And so it's kind of nicer to use that way for when you're just kind of basically saying, hey, I saw this without.
Right. It helps the sender realize that you read the message and that you're aware of it. So like a check mark, or someone will ask me, you just check it, I did it, so you don't have to just type stuff in.
Yeah, I like it because sometimes people send me email and I'm like, oh, do I just reply and say thanks? I hate like filling up their inbox, but I also want them to know that I saw it. And so that's kind of that problem is solved on Slack with emojis. You can just be like, yeah, I saw it without bugging them about it. So what else? Am I missing things? Anything else to share here?
Oh, what about like using code versus?
Yeah, okay, so that's what I was gonna say is down here, maybe we shouldn't do it in the general, it doesn't matter if I spam you guys. Okay. So you might say, hi, check out this code, okay? Also, you'll notice when I hit enter, it doesn't send the message, okay? I changed my settings in Slack because sometimes I hit enter to do a new line and that sends the message and it really annoys me. So for me, I went in the settings, I have to hit control enter to send the message. I think it's a lot nicer. Then I can add new lines, add new bullet points and stuff like that without.
That's a great suggestion. I'm gonna do it right now.
So do you want me to show you where it is?
Sure.
You have to do it on every workspace, I think. Yeah, but you have to remember.
It's a pain.
You have to remember to see. I like not having to remember. So I can't remember. Anyone remember?
Preferences. I go to my top right preferences.
The other thing to point out is notifications. Set up notifications too.
Preferences, advanced. There it is, this one. When writing a message, press enter to send the message or start a new line. Okay, so I like that.
You want to say about notifications, Josh? I want
You can set.
what do you
Show how to set notifications too.
what do you change? I guess I'm interested.
You can change like how frequently it emails you.
Where messages or
Notifications there.
oh right in front of me, sorry. Yeah, you can change your notifications here if you want. So
You can tell it to not message you after.
yeah, so that's the default. Sometimes I'll be replying to someone late and it's like, hey, they're not gonna see this until they're back. And then there's a little button that says you can notify them anyway. I don't usually click that. Okay, what was the other? Oh, code. So yeah, so there's a few ways you can, so you can just do a single tick to be like, hey, highlight this with kind of some code highlighting. Sorry, it's a little small here. I don't think I can make it bigger. Okay, so there's that you can use, or you can use, if you use Markdown, the 3 ticks starts a code block, or you can click that little button there to start a code block. And then if you paste stuff in, it pastes in code. So, so this is something we were talking about is this isn't just true for Slack. This is also as you're gonna interact with other people on somewhere like GitHub and other people in projects. if you're gonna send some code or something a bit more complicated than a short message, spend some extra time and format it correctly, especially if you're on GitHub, like opening issues or opening pull requests. Format things nicely. It kind of makes you a nice contributor to the project, and you don't want to be someone that people are annoyed with. When I'm like reading a sentence and I'm like, oh, they've switched. Now they're like, this is something they typed in their terminal and I'm not even really realizing. And then I get mildly annoyed, but.
Another thing, don't take screenshots and post screenshots, okay? Cut and paste. In 320, my class, I wouldn't just post these screenshots of all their problems. I mean, maybe there's maybe a time and a place for that, but if you can cut and paste, do that rather than taking a picture.
Yeah, the problem with screenshots is sometimes it's like, oh, I want to like point out something. I want to copy something from your screenshot and be like, oh, you should change this to this, but nobody can do that. And nobody can search on your screenshot in the future. If you open up some GitHub issue with a screenshot, there's no parse text in there. The search engine is not going to find your text, and people won't find your problem in the future and things like this. So use text where you can and don't put pictures in, so.